Abusia Yamama Kwabashonko so about POG Media so make sure Safin Wabaswa or by like and subscribe and I face what my shade you made I'm out for front soon sent to me I can and some airport so my Ghana more young so ya Japan say Brand Brown on the Yabemi Abida for the airport and the airbar now the some and airport so highway so Ghana Army and I just so my secret meeting be a meeting that me a leak here and yet asem kuma na meeting ya Ghana Army ko ha bi a pa omabo say omode ba be coup September ending tia na N.Addo&Ť Akuffo ene ne Bawumia na chese omo apam omo afi aban mu no na chese omo meeting that me a leak here enye asem kuma na Black Rasta edin sem no mu ntwemu abre ya chese Black Rasta chese oman bi ani ho obon pai se coup ebesi wo oman ni mu efise coup esi wo oman mu a de ekom atoren chese ewuwu basa na yeden eba oman mu a chese asojes fu yet makobopo anaso makoye meeting se September ending omo ba be coup e my Ghana mu a chese abusua enye asem kuma enti mepese abusua fo be me akone akwakotie nsem na Black Rasta e de ba bedum ye ni bi nansa na ebe kon be show so wonsem kaye bia de be share your comment section wo be like no subscribe na afi so wetima share dwumadi no ama afoforo nso nsa atumi aka medamas
issues to look at. Let's close the week with some very exciting news, but some of them would also break your heart. Shall we start with some of the most serious news? Run it, my youths. First story, reality, coup looms in Ghana. I don't like the sound of this. I don't ever want to hear about a coup d'etat anywhere in Africa. There was a time in Africa, almost every time, we heard about coup d'etats all over the place. Innocent people were slaughtered and all that. So I grew up in the era of coups. Rawlins's coup. Remember his first coup was 1979. I was only 5 years at the time. But even at that age, I could tell that my parents were so depressed, all because of the coup. We would have to go to bed early. Food was scarce. So many other issues. Oh my God. So anywhere I hear, I see, I encounter a coup, I am most of the time very angry. My brother, my sister, it is the black pox. And today, we are looking at the very first issue. It says, reality, coup looms in Ghana. But who is saying this? This is the man. He's not a little boy. By his stature, you could tell he's older than me. He's probably my father. He has a lot of experience. By his age, who is this man? Why is he praying for a coup d'etat in Ghana? But is he really praying for a coup d'etat in Ghana? Watch this. It says 2024 election, the threat of a coup is real. Army has openly said it will step in if there is violence. And this is the IDEC boss. You know his name? Dr. LÇāṛāṇ. That's his name. Now the director, that's the executive director of the Institute for Democratic Governance, IDEC, Dr. LÇāṛāṇ, has asserted that Ghana's democracy is under threat if the concerns of the pending election turning violent are not addressed. Speaking in an interview with Joy News on Wednesday, August 21, 2024, Dr. LÇāṛāṇ noted that the Ghana Armed Forces has on more than 2 occasions threatened that if elections in the country turn violent beyond the control of the Ghana Police Service, it would intervene. He added that these threats from the army should be taken seriously because they point to nothing but the end of civil rule and a military overthrow. The Armed Forces of Ghana, since 2016, has clearly and openly in press conferences threatened that if violence breaks out in the country over election disputes or whatever, and the police cannot deal with it and is escalating or threatening, it will step in. And they also went ahead to say, if they do so, it will be the peace of the nation and unity. That will be a coup because the police cannot deal with nationwide violence. For that, It's not about parliamentary elections. It's about presidential elections. Because the president is elected through the country. And they have said that a second time in 2020, and probably even the third time they have started talking about it so early. That's it away. My brother, this is common sense. The man here is not praying for a coup. Dr. LÇātān is only praying that there will not be violence in this country. It is the same prayer I am uttering as I stand. I am sure if you are a well-meaning Ghanaian and African, you should also be saying the same prayer, that we shouldn't have a coup d'etat in this country. But my brother, let us find out what brings about coup d'etats. When the people are displeased and they want to remove a certain government in an election through the ballot box, and their franchise is not respected, they will certainly go out there and demonstrate. There will be violence. And if there is violence, certainly the armed forces would come in. Am I making sense? Now, it all points to one direction, that Ghanaians are fed up with the NPP government. Nana Akuffo and Bawumia. Everything points out to that direction. I don't need to be a statistician before I can tell you this. My brother, even founding members of the party like Dr. N.Addo&Ť, they have said it categorically clear that in this election that is looming, there's only one verdict Ghanaians will respect. And that verdict is not about who wins the elections, but who loses. And the party every Ghanaian is looking forward to seeing lose is the NPP. There are many other people who are supporters of the party for so many different reasons. Now, we live in a country where people would not share in your ideologies or your suffering as long as they are satisfied. A teacher walks into a class and starts beating up a certain student for no reason. And nobody in the class could stand up to the teacher and ask him why he subjected this little boy to such a heavy beating for no reason. After all, we have not been beaten, so it's okay for us. As long as we are comfortable, we don't care who is not comfortable. We are not looking at the majority. How many people are benefiting from this government? Is it a family and friends government? Or is it a government that is actually taking the interest of the people seriously? I stand in a different corner. You might probably stand in a different corner. But from where I stand, I see this government as a very selfish government, incompetent government, a government that is not ready for the woes of this country. We all have been disappointed. From journalists all the way through to teachers and doctors and nurses. My brother, same way we were disappointed with Mahama when he came in and we kicked him out. God being so good, he accepted the results and walked away. Today, many Ghanaians are saying, oh, actually, Mahama was not good. But looking at what this government is doing, if we are left with just two choices, we will go back for Mahama. Am I speaking the truth? We are praying for a better leader. Anyone who will be the better leader and Ghana will become cool and calm. It doesn't matter even if it's a headless jack. As long as the leadership will be good, that is the prayer for all Ghanaians. At the same time, we do not want a coup d'etat. Bring his photograph here. Dr. LÇātān. He is the boss of IDEC. And he's telling us that we have to take it so seriously. If we don't, we will smile and laugh at the wrong sides of our faces. Think about it very carefully. This election is so crucial. Why is it crucial? Because there's so much suffering. We have seen so much unprecedented suffering around the world. COVID-19 came to play. In Ghana, we are experiencing COVID-20. You know why? Because we are still charging COVID-19 fees and taxes long after COVID-19 was said bye-bye to. So it couldn't be COVID-19. It must be COVID-20. My brother, my sister, the government has performed so abysmally bad. Thievery all over the place. Corruption has inundated the president. He has lost count where he started and where he's going. My brother, my sister, it will be an insult to me. I don't know about you. A vice president who sat under a president for 8 years finally comes out to give us an alibi, an irresponsible alibi. Oh, I wasn't the president, so it wasn't everything I could do. For that matter, all the good things that happened, I will share in that glory. But all the bad things that happened, please, is the president. What kind of irresponsible talk is that? But they keep going around and saying these things to people. Surprisingly, there are some people who believe some of these guys, and they stand around waiting.
Abusuantin semnumu bi ene ekokotie no na ekwakoye me se eye akabe 3 to 4 months am yakwakoto abai ase fear and panic na chese empeinfo bi no ye de hyetimamufuo no mu a enye asemkuma efi se yenti ase se Ghana army etime akoye meeting se omo ba be yeku ewo my Ghana mu a de Ǒvěrťhřǒwn Akuffo ne de Bawumia oma pam omo ntentem so klafli akonya ne so a abusua ensem no ani enyan enti black rasta esa de to aso na okase ope attorney general wa bon pa o Ghana ha govt odamia chese govt odamia etime agina case ba akomako 20 na ama Ghana we lose 19 a we win ba ako a enye asemkuma enti abusua me pese mo sabe me yakone asa akoti nsem a black rasta e de to aso
to hear what they have to tell them. Maybe because of the money they're sharing around every now and then, and some free chobo. The average Ghanaian must rise above selling his birthright. The Ghanaian must be wise and do not ever accept any bribery to sell out your own country. A lot of us have no virtues. A lot of us are so dunderheaded. A lot of us don't even care about Ghana. We only care about our stomach. To the average Ghanaian, once he wakes up and he gets his food to eat, oh, nothing else matters to him. But we have to rise beyond this nonsense. How about your neighbor? Has he eaten? Why hasn't he eaten? How about your children? Have they eaten? The children you're going to make to form the next generation, have they eaten? Are you planning about them? What is in place for them rather than just your food, beyond just your food? This is what we all have to be thinking about. In the interim, we don't want a coup in this country. Please, let the army stay away. Let there be peaceful elections. But beyond the peace, we want a free and fair election. Anybody who comes out and tries to fight, anybody who tries to disrupt the election in whatever way, either stealing from the ballot boxes or intimidating people, or even manipulating the results of the election digitally, is not a friend of Ghana. And you know how we treat enemies? We send them straight to hell, guilty as charged. It's the black box, aka Kokoshownama. And here we speak truth to power. Next year. Now the next story we want to look at says Attorney General's teeth rotten. You know, if you have rotten teeth, you can't bite, right? Those people whose teeth are all rotten in Ghana say your teeth are rotten. You know, but teeth don't actually rot. It's the mouth that rots. You know, the teeth, you know, are bones. And bones don't rot just like that. Yeah? Unless they are cartilaginous bones. If they are not, they don't get rotten just like that. But why is somebody saying that the Attorney General's teeth are rotting? Rotting. This is the Attorney General. He's called Godfrey Dame. He is the most inefficient. He is one of the most incompetent lawyers I have seen in my generation. When this guy came in, we all believed that he was going to be doing something good. But he has proven that he and Nana Akuffo probably are not even qualified to be called lawyers. It's sad. This is the Attorney General of Ghana. He has lost almost every significant case in the history of our nation. And the sad thing is this. This Attorney General called Godfrey Dame, my brother, my sister, just lost a case, an arbitration, where Trafigura has demanded its pound of flesh by taking Ghana's diplomatic edifice, an outfit in the UK called Regina. Regina House has been taken away because we owe Trafigura for services amounting to about 134 million American dollars. This guy should have gone for the arbitration as quickly as possible to sort things out. They were blaming it on COVID. And the courts asked them, why? Were you the only one who suffered from COVID? This is the Attorney General. I don't want to use harsher words than the fact that he's incompetent. Just like his boss, Nana Akuffo. These are the people who are killing Ghana. And God is going to deal with them right after the other. Hey, somebody says this guy has rotten teeth. This is the man. He looks angry. Very, very angry. And he is the boss of the park. Public, whatever committee. You will see it. It's an accounting something. People have to account, right? And it's based right there in Parliament. None of the people we recommended for the AG, that's the Attorney General, for prosecution has been prosecuted. Remember, I started by telling you that this is a parliamentary something called the PAC. I'll soon tell you what exactly it is. But by law, these people have the power to make things happen. Now, the chairman of the Public Accounts Committee, I told you it's all about accounting, it's all about probity, and it's all about our loyalty. His name is Dr. James Kluche Aveji. The chairman of the Public Accounts Committee, PAC, of Parliament. Did I tell you that it was based in Parliament? It's Parliament that authenticated and validated the PAC. Has disclosed that the office of the Attorney General has not prosecuted even one of the individuals or entities it recommends for prosecution. Speaking to the media on August 21, 2024, Dr. Aveji said that the Attorney General has not prosecuted any individual or entity it cited for prosecution offenses they committed in the Auditor General's report before the Clerk of Parliament has not, because the Clerk of Parliament has not been communicating the committee's decision to the Attorney General's office. I'm going to take it again. Speaking to the media on August 21, 2024, Dr. Aveji said that the Attorney General has not prosecuted any individual or entity incited for prosecution offenses they committed in the Auditor General's report because the Clerk of Parliament has not been communicating the committee's decision to the Attorney General's office. Run it by you. Watch this. He added that referrals for prosecution were sent to the office this year, 2024, after he followed up on the matter to ensure that the right thing was done. You will see in the report that we have that most of the time we attach an annex to our report listing all the agencies that are to be prosecuted by Attorney General. The challenge we had as a committee was that while we do all these things, the Parliament was communicating this decision to the Attorney General for them to take action. Yeah? For them to take action. Flip it. Give me the next page. Until one day when the Attorney General appeared before the committee and asked, we have made a number of referrals for prosecution. Tell us what action you are doing or you have taken on them. Then he said, nothing has been communicated to his office. So I have to start doing a follow-up for the Clerk of Parliament to communicate this decision. He said, he added, I've gone through this for more than almost a year and a half, or even more until recently, that when I raised the issue again on the floor of Parliament, it came to light that finally, the issues have been communicated to the Attorney General to take action. Dash it away. These people are full of alibis. So Attorney General has not prosecuted anybody.
It's a bushia when in some black pastor at the Bawumia to say Ghana Army for a secret meeting say or mobile be coup September ending Nyamia on Pebone or meeting at me leaky I saw a soldiers for bay 5 more CCA or abiding your mood dino Nyafina for any asim kuma. Eti black pastor slay or my bapabia says or koda na wo bompaya na wakan oman kronkron Ghana evi sesisie ne de oman ni mu ayehu a soldiers for ani abre gidi say omo eba abaye coup na elections ya ye kwa kurum ni anase ye wura mu mpawie no I say edi hu and able oman Ghana timamufo esan say o share threat na NPP amayoko no threat e bi mu na den e bekum nipa de wi nipa wa e be say na ede ehu ahye nkofo bebre mu etiwe na ma eye Ghana army for nso koye da meeting we say saade apam no twa no omo ba de yeku e de apam wa Akuffo ado efra akonya ne so a abusua enye asem kuma etimedam ase semoje penemi kotie eye black rasta nsema ode ba bedom ye aha eye POG Media medam ase.